Scratch that. This ain't Friday Night WrestleCast. This is a special edition of Monday Night WrestleCast. What the hell did we just watch? Oh my lord. Raw Underground? We got poisoning ninjas blowing things up. This was crazy. I'm your host, Adam Vale. I'm joined by Sister Dana and Richard Bailey Jr., and we are just in shock. Rich, Dana, what's going on, man? What did we just see? What was this? I can't believe it.
I'll let you go to Dana first, and then I'll tell you what I think we saw.
I'm trying to figure this out. Because at first I'm like, okay, we find out Shane's coming. All right, fine, whatever. Shane's coming down. But then this whole underground, and they make it look like it's this underground fight club type setting in a warehouse, but there's dancing girls, like strippers, and then it's not like they're just in the background. You got Shane pointing them out. Oh, look at the girls, all over there doing, and you got all these people moving around and stuff, trying to make it seem like it's one of those type of scenes. One, we know they're in Florida. Two, we know there's social distancing going on, so it's not a real event. Three, we know it's scripted. What the hell are they trying to pull off here? It just baffled me. That part really baffled me. And then the fact that it wasn't even just a one-off. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a one-off. No, he's like, this is a brand new show. This is going to be a segment. This is going to be a thing. What are they fighting for? Is it money? Is it for a belt? Is it its own promotion? Are they trying to pull one of those type of things we used to see with Fox when they tried to do that Mortal Kombat one? Do you guys remember that? When Fox tried to pull off some Mortal Kombat shit, trying to make it look like, oh yeah, we got these, and they had backstage stories and all this stuff. It looked crazy. Who knows? Maybe they might go crazy and make it into like a Lucha Underground vibe, where there is backstage segments, all pre-taped, all filmed, and have with effects and stuff. But man, I just, this whole episode, and then with the ninjas. What's up with this? They got ninjas coming out blowing things. At first I thought it was a burning cross. I'm like, what are they burning crosses in front of the performance center? Who pissed off who in this shit? And then, Dana's over here tells me, no, that was their power system. Now that made me wonder, because they were having audio issues right at the beginning, right? That was some audio issues. I thought that was it, just whatever. They said they had some bad weather, it's audio issues. But then when you see this happen, are they trying to play it off, or was it all planned? The audio issues, the whole thing was planned because it was a generator that these ninjas blew up. Why the hell they have ninjas blowing shit up? You got Ford from Street Profits fainting in the ring. I mean, the last time I saw someone faint in the ring was Shawn Michaels, remember? And that was legit when he did the skin the cat and he collapsed.
Yep.
You know what? Scratch that, because then I think Ric Flair fainted after that in WCW. That's right. He was in the ring, and then he was in the corner, and he started having trouble breathing and shit. And then that whole thing. All right, well, whatever. There was a lot of craziness happening. I did catch Ruby Riott doing her little curse. It wasn't so much of a curse that I would say as a profanity, but they bleeped it. Everything is pointing that they were just throwing everything at the wall. That I know we see all the stuff on the dirt sheets and the Meltzer and everybody talking about, oh, well, Vince keeps rewriting the scripts. No. Everything that we just saw right now looked like he said, what do you got? What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? All right, we're going to put this shit all together, and everyone is getting a segment. Everyone was spitting everything. You think you know better than me? Fucking put that shit there. Oh, you want to talk about this guy fainting and all? You're putting that. You're hyped with the ninjas in the video? Put some ninjas in it. We're throwing everything. My son's talking about doing some crazy street fight segment. Fuck it. Put it on too. Put everything on. Let's see what sticks. It's the old spaghetti routine. When you have your spaghetti, how do you know it's done? You take a string, you throw it against the wall, the shit sticks, it's good to go. That's what I felt like right now. And it's working. We don't do Mondays. We don't talk this shit. For all you new people on Spotify and iTunes and stuff, and they're like, oh, what the hell is all this shit? This is what we only cover pay-per-views. That's the whole thing, because we know there's like a million fucking wrestling podcasts out there. Everybody's talking news and gossip and blah, 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 blah. We just want to tell you what you didn't see, because not everybody watches all the bullshit wrestling that we watch. So it's like, yeah, you feel like watching this pay-per-view? This is what's gonna happen. But man, this got me. It's not even hyped isn't the word, because I'm not hyped. I'm just like baffled. That's it. I'm baffled. I don't know what I just watched. I don't know the direction of this program now. I don't know who this was for. That was the other thing. A part of me was like, well, is this the attitude, or are they trying to bring that edginess back? Is it too late for something like that? What are they doing? Then is Samoa Joe clear to wrestle? Is he coming back? When he did the whole thing, taking the mic off, I'm like, oh, you're coming back? You're bringing this into it? I don't know. That's my whole thing. Dana, what's going on? What was going on in your head through all this?
Okay, so I know what's going on, but also my brain was very confused and kind of thought that Vince was in severe distress and this was a cry for help. Because
Oh
this
my
was
god.
literally a hot mess. But there is a reason behind it, and it's called desperation.
It
That
has to be. This everything reeks of desperation. It's
what
just so much going on in different directions, and you know what? It got us talking. I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of people talking. They're gonna be like, but I don't know if it's all positive. But like they say,
no.
any press is good press, right? That's what's
From
gonna happen here.
if you just check Twitter alone, it's not. And I know that's not a scientific thing to go and do, but generally speaking, it's literally what the heck did I just watch? Let's not do that ever again.
I just,
It was
I,
directionless, it was random, and the editing literally almost gave me a migraine. It was so much editing in just one sequence alone when you watch the fight.
It's the
That
editing. It
really,
always ends with the ground and pound with the elbows and all that. I get what they were going for, but it doesn't make sense. It was just
doesn't.
thrown at us. I was like, oh, this is what we got, and we got this warehouse, and this is it, and anything goes, anything can happen here. Anybody, what is it? Why anything goes? What do they get out of this?
I
They're not
don't.
shooting promos. I didn't see Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, yeah, he has the amateur wrestling background. Of course, he could work. We get that. But what did he get out of this? How does this help him in any way?
That was the biggest problem because I didn't understand what the show was, what was the purpose, or what, like you said, what are we even competing for? And I'm confused as to is it just a completely separate show from Raw? Will
Mm,
it be a full half an
no,
hour?
they kept reiterating this is Raw Underground, Raw Underground. So I'm
But
assuming that
then
this is something that's going to sprinkle off toward the last 2 hours of Raw. Like this is something for the older audience to get them to stick around. Because again, every time they would cut to Shane toward the last hour, he was standing in front of those three girls dancing. You know, doing their thing and grinding. And so, what did you call them? The XFL cheerleaders. This is
I
their new
call
job.
them, yeah, remember
Yeah,
because if you those who don't know, The Rock just purchased along with another football
that was the
league.
first part of this
He,
weird Monday. Holy,
he purchased the XFL, and they was gonna file for bankruptcy this week, and he was like, "Nope, here's my very cheap $15 million,"
now
and purchased
now was
the
that 15 for him or because they said
for
he's with
him,
another
to
group
my
and I
knowledge.
think his ex-wife is also a business partner on that. So I'm wondering like is it combined 15 million or it's just
His
his
share,
dumping in
his and
15?
from what I understand, his and Danny's share, from what it looks like, was 15, unless 15 is the full total, which is just even sadder.
I don't know what you do with this. That whatever. That's a whole other thing. What? Yeah, the girls they got girls dancing. Still, this is I don't. What is this for?
It
Now I
looked like
recognize the guys. You recognize
ECW girls.
it was that, but then you recognize the big dude. That was the big ninja dude. That was the guy from NXT that they picked up a long time ago, and they haven't really done anything with him. But he was that
They,
big ninja that they had a while ago when they did the pay per view when the Viking Raiders were doing that whole with the Street Profits. Remember? And they were in the ninja showed up on the motorbikes, and then there was the one big ninja.
mm-hmm.
That's that dude. So I get that, but then it's weird the whole presentation of him saying regarding Shane saying, "Hey, anybody wants to challenge him? Anybody wants to get in the ring?" And then a guy just jumps in. Where are you finding these people? He didn't even announce who Joe Schmo is. You know, it was just
Right.
bringing back the whole idea of jobber to the lowest level because you're not even giving the guy props. He didn't even get any name recognition. So even if that guy wants to brag to his friends, he has to literally tell them to watch and to look for his face or whatever if he was there because there's no name. He's
Right.
Joe Blow.
And
And
then my favorite has to be Drew Torres. For those who don't know, he's an actor on Degrassi. Very,
there you
very
go.
frank.
There you go. Everybody. Yeah, there was a lot. I don't
When
even watch The Bachelor. Whatever. What was it? The chick with the rose? Is she part of something? Of one of those?
she is part of The Bachelor, the actual TV show The Bachelor.
Isn't that on a competitor network?
ABC.
That's not NBC.
Well, I was confused as to remember when they used to have the celebrity GMs or whatever, and they would just come in randomly
Yeah.
and talk about their show. But they really didn't do that. But she kept repeating, "Hi, I'm Danny from The Bachelor. Hi, I'm Danny."
I mean,
It didn't work.
very odd placement because that's not on the NBC Universal. It's not one of their channels.
Well, they don't always do stuff that's solely just their channels, do they? Because remember, they do movies and other stuff.
Yeah, the movies I get, but even then, it's not so much like this. I don't know. I just, it's been a while at least that I can recall where they actually had somebody from one of the other networks and shows promote their product, which was very odd placement of a product to promote. But yeah, that just goes along with everything that happened weird tonight. So, oh man, Rich, you got anything to say?
Yeah. Well, to answer the question you asked, what is Raw Underground? Raw Underground is pretty much the platform used to elevate and present the Hurt Business. I mean, and you got that answer at the very end because what we saw, there was reports that was going out earlier in the day, and even on the WWE.com website where they said, "Oh yeah, a new faction will be revealed tonight." And I thought to myself, "Well, okay, that's a reason to get people to watch the show." But then I watched the show, and this is the faction which we already knew about weeks ago. So it's not really a new faction.
He was always calling them the Hurt Business. He kept saying that for the longest.
Yeah.
New faction, same as the old faction.
Oh, shit. Dude, we got Boston Ricky in the house. See, I'm telling you, Rick.
I'm getting here. I just had someone prodding me to join. So.
I'm telling you, because we know. I know you were like, oh, but there's nothing positive. But no, that's the whole point. This was a hot mess. They threw a lot of garbage at us, and I just could not believe it. We saw things that we probably would never thought we were going to see. At one point, Dana texted me, they brought back Brawl for It All. I'm like, what? Brawl for It? Are you kidding me?
Wish they did. I wish they did. I know they said it's one of the worst things ever.
Yeah,
man,
that's
like to see them actually try to fight each other. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
we got proof that it still doesn't work.
This is so crazy. So Ricky, so we pretty much determined that this is not its own show. This is a segment that's going to spit out within Raw for the last 2 hours. It looks like we're going to see like 2 or 3 matches. Shane kept iterating that there's no rules, anything can go. So I guess it doesn't even matter where anybody can show up. But he didn't discuss what's the goal for the competitors. What do they get, money or whatever? It's very limited TV time. I thought at first it was just going to be up and comers, or people from NXT. But we saw, one of the dudes from the Viking Raiders? He was in there. We saw Dolph Ziggler, and then of course the whole thing with Bobby Lashley and MVP and stuff. So
Steel Man, who was actually one of the Raw commentators last year.
Yep.
And he's the NXT wrestler who hasn't seen a lot of time on TV. I thought it was interesting that he just kind of showed up.
Wait, he wasn't the first guy. I thought the first guy was the Big Ninja.
He's the guy that got attacked towards the end by Shelton.
Oh, toward the end. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, because I didn't know. He definitely wasn't.
The Big Ninja was the bodyguard that was standing outside the thing.
Wasn't he the first guy who competed? The first one that Shane was like advertised, was like, oh yeah, and then he beat up one dude, and then another guy came in and he kicked his ass.
No, that wasn't a ninja. That was just another tall guy that I've never heard of.
That's that was the former Degrassi actor that Dana mentioned.
Oh, see, there you go. It was just so much going on. And that was the other part that really baffled me with all this, is right toward the end when you got Bobby Lashley in there and he's over here saying, yeah, and MVP saying, who wants more? I'm like, where's the guy who just beat up 2 other dudes earlier who was just as big? Why didn't he come out? Show something of quality if you're going to go in that direction. But man,
and what angered me was that the matches was like 10 seconds long?
Yeah. There were squash matches. They were just squash matches.
Well, let me make this point real quick. Y'all mentioned earlier that you felt like they just threw a lot of stuff at the wall. Well, here is your test to see what happens now moving forward next week, because as you said at the end of the night when you were surprised you didn't see that guy come back out again to challenge one of the other people that was in the ring. So they easily could, if they actually were trying to build up the people that are in these matches, they could eventually make this guy face one of the Viking Raiders or somebody else. if they actually are trying to build this as something. So this is a test to see in the next couple of weeks, are they going to eventually have these guys cross paths, or is it just going to be, well, just random people jumping in there fighting each other, and then that's it?
I don't see this being a storyline driven segment, just because of how it seems to be so randomly thought up and put together. And it seems also like it's going to be sprinkled throughout the last hour.
It wasn't too random. They had a set and everything. But then again, that looked like a
They
Full
had a
Sail.
basement.
For some reason, I got it was a basement. I thought it was a Full Sail, and they just put up curtains and stuff around. And
that's what I
what was the point of all that stupid, like, distortions that were happening in the beginning of the show, and then you find a bunch of Antifa-looking people going and throwing Molotovs at this box that apparently will turn microphones off at random. The whole thing was dumb.
It makes sense.
You see, when that happened in the beginning with the lights flickering, I thought that was going to eventually lead to the revelation of this new team has now entered WWE, because that would have made perfect sense. But they're not thinking logically about any of this stuff. They're just like, well, whatever, it just happens. But
and the silhouette, did they? I didn't see it. I don't know if I skimmed over it. Because I didn't really skim over anything. But did they ever address what that silhouette? It looked like a statue or someone standing.
No,
right?
They never even. They pretended it didn't even exist. Like fainting.
You're talking about the person that was standing outside the area where Shane and then
no, it looked. I don't know. It looked like like they were gonna do an unveil or a reveal of someone or something, because it wasn't moving. So I was thinking maybe it was a statue or something. I don't know. It was very odd, but they didn't really do anything with that. So,
oh, something's coming. Don't worry, because you saw the tease of Aleister Black was not on the show tonight.
Oh, and that's the other thing. But that's the other part that really. That's the other part that just blew my mind, because we all saw the horror show and we saw how horrible that whole match was with Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins with the eye. And we're like, this is ridiculous. No one's going to go with it. Just squash it. And they're going forward with this. They're continuing with this. We're going to pop eyeballs out. Really? Is that believable?
Dominic is going to save the day. This is now Seth Rollins' opponent at SummerSlam. So.
Oh my Lord! I just couldn't believe this. I'm like, let that go. Let that go. No, that's not something you continue. We don't need to see this. Oh, guess what? He's going to take someone's eye out this week, because it's not believable. So no, we're not buying it.
Well, I mean, I don't think the match with Dominic is just a regular match. I don't.
No. But he had tried before with the whole thing with Aleister Black.
Yeah,
and they showed
that Black wasn't on TV.
Yeah,
so
but then they showed where this whole issue here. So the fact that they continue on with that is what I'm saying. I thought it was a one and done. Mysterio, Seth for the eye, and that's it. They saw the feedback. They realized that this did not go over well. It didn't look right when they tried to portray it. Then, of course, he's not losing his eye. Oh, magically, the doctor was able to save it.
Then remember the next week they went and removed, well, not removed, but acted as if Aleister Black's eye was gone.
But
and they keep doing it with other wrestlers. Like, that's their go-to finisher, I guess. And it's just
But the ridiculous thing about this, and I mentioned this to Ricky, we were talking about this last week. Why the hell didn't Dominic come out the night after the horror show and have that whole segment with Seth Rollins? They waited until a week later to all of a sudden, okay, now Dominic is angry and now he wants to come on Raw. He should have been there on the night after his father supposedly got his eye popped out.
Should have been there that same freaking night.
He should have been in the back.
Oh, yeah.
How do you not get him? I mean, come on now. You don't accompany your dad to a match like that? You don't say, you know what, Dad? I won't be in the ring, but I'll be in the back. If it was any event like that, you would definitely show up, because your dad could actually lose an eye. If, quote unquote, shit was real. But still, show up. We all expect he was going to be there. And,
writing is terrible. It's just absolutely atrocious.
I just can't believe it. I just can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this year in everything and in every aspect has been bananas. And I just And the worst was for them to come out and then say a few days ago with the fiscal right that they made a profit. Oh, this is a record-setting number. We've never made money like because they're not touring, so they're saving all this money, and they don't have to do the set designs at all these locations. But still, it's just so baffling for them to mention that. It's like, oh yeah, we're making all this money, and this is great, and this is what they're producing.
Guys, right? I mean, shit.
Well, it's about the stockholders. Here's the thing. Let me break it down.
And I think there's a little asterisk when they said about the subscription subs have been going up for the network, because I'm hearing that's subs of just people signing up with the subs. That's not paid subs. There's a difference from paid subs and subs.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people signed up because they want the free tier service. So a lot of wordplay going on there, but
it's dog
I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Well, I mean, what else? You got something to say?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What prompted this emergency show?
Yeah, that's a great question.
For Raw or for the WrestleCast?
For WrestleCast.
It was. I couldn't believe that they were trying to pull this underground, and that's the whole thing. Raw underground? Are you kidding me? You're gonna try to do a Fight Club type thing, scripted? This now of all times, this is what you think is gonna work, and you get dancing girls, and you bring back that whole vibe. I remember when WCW tried this shit. Remember when they had the Nitro girls, and they were doing all that.
Hey,
I like the Nitro girls, so stop.
I'm just saying they tried it.
That's Stacy Keebler. So stop.
It just
it
made no sense.
For this.
It made no sense.
You have to give them credit and say that this worked because you mentioned Shane McMahon was returning, and that obviously people were going to be intrigued to see why this guy was coming back. So the way they portrayed leading up to this actual reveal, I have to say, they did what they needed to do to get people interested in watching, but the execution was not. I was not entertained, to say the least.
I mean, if they promised that they were going to reveal like a new 3-person faction, and it's just a fucking Hurt Business that we already seen for months now, then that's a bait and switch. They completely screwed us over.
Well, I mean, nobody knew whatever this Raw Underground thing was happening. That was the biggest surprise of the night, and that's what threw me off, because I'm like, all right, this is going to be a little segment. No, this is going to be weekly, and this is going to be part of the show.
Wait, how do you How do you know that it's going to be a weekly thing?
He said it.
Establish that?
Yeah, they said it at the end.
Yeah,
week.
He said, tune in next week to see what other craziness happens, because anything goes at Raw Underground.
I give them until SummerSlam and they'll drop it entirely.
Either that or maybe
we could talk about this on the show, but I think the whole thing is absurd.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's true. I mean, it could be a combination of things. And one, it's just to see if people draw interest, like the whole spaghetti thing, see what sticks. Two, maybe if some numbers do go up in the third hour, we always know that the third hour is their weakest hour when it comes to ratings. If so, then this could maybe be a spin-off. Maybe this is something else that they put on USA Network. They're definitely not going to put it on their own network. So this is something that they do separate and they invest more time and money into it.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Hi. Can Dana speak?
Oh, shit. Here we go.
No.
What happened? Damn, Dana.
Amplify black voices. Okay. So, here we go. This is actually for a reason. This is what happens when Paul Heyman is fired. What happened all dates back literally a couple days ago during the financial call. They had their, with the investors. Vince was very dodgy and did not answer anyone's questions in like a full sentences. And the investors were very concerned because one, ratings were in the toilet and the only people who were watching were 50 plus.
Nice.
And while WWE
they fell asleep with the remote in their hand.
That's exactly what
the hell am I watching? What's this shit?
While WWE has saved a lot of money in profits by not touring and not doing, the regular shows and just being in BC, that's great when it comes to like, for them, but in terms of nobody is watching this show anymore, what's going to happen to my money? People are very concerned. And Vince kept stating that this has nothing to do with AEW or the rebranding of TNA or Impact or what's going on. He felt that this is solely 100% creating new stars. And he feels that they didn't name WWE Underground, but this series that we now know is existing is to generate new stars and see them as real fighters. They also want to compete directly with combat sports, because what's happening now is everybody's returning back to, remember, NBL is back, the NHL, NBA, all these other sports programs are returning. And usually this is the time when WWE's ratings decline, just regular, forget a pandemic, because these sports are now returning. And he feels that this is a way to directly compete with them. Laughably, but this is how he feels. And this, by being unscripted and raw, as he's saying, is not only going to switch over the younger fans who are watching, say, AEW or even the basketball and the football, but it's going to keep the 50 plus engaged because it reminds them of kind of nostalgia.
No, I mean it is scripted. We know it's scripted.
That's
the thing. So it's one thing for wrestling to see wrestling. You know what I mean? It's one thing if we see wrestling, we get it, we understand that. But when you take it out and you put it in this environment, now you're just thinking we're done. You're just messing with us now.
It didn't work the first time. I'm not seeing how this is new characters or better and compelling storylines. It's just a random fight club. Matt Riddle is on Twitter making fun of it, saying that it looks like Bloodsport.
Well, look at it this way. The first thing we see is like this big guy going and plowing through 2 or 3 fighters, and we none of us know what the guy's name is. So they failed if they're trying to put over this big guy, because I don't know what the hell his name is.
Right.
You know, like the presentation is part of. Let's save this for later.
Yeah, it's horrible. Well, anyway, the whole point, that was it. We just wanted to do this real quick, just try to discuss what the hell was this.
The genius behind why they think this is working, and technically, it is working. During the investment call, WWE's social media was down. It was down. Their main account lost over 11,000 followers in June alone. And they feel that by this happening, it will create a resurgence in social media, and people will follow them, and their YouTube viewership will go up. So, in a weird way, temporarily, this actually worked.
Yeah. It generates discussion.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's why I'm here, because I just couldn't believe it. It was too much texting back and forth with everybody. What the hell is it? I was like, you know what? Let's just do a real impromptu. This is a legit special. We just need to talk about this craziness. But you know what? That's it. We will see what happens. Maybe this is a flash in the pan, like you guys think, and they'll just disappear within a few episodes. Maybe not. But there goes that. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening.
This would actually be a great episode for Dark Side of the Ring.
This could be. Once it falls apart and someone really gets hurt and something happens, and then they do a follow up. It's like, oh, what happened to jobber number 2? And literally we have to use that term because they don't say names. They didn't mention any of the guys that were getting their ass kicked. They didn't mention their names.
Well, it was
like,
underground.
This tough guy over here wants to fight. Oh, I think that guy over there, he wants to fight. The one with the white shirt. Oh, here he comes.
You're not supposed to know their name. It's unsanctioned.
Oh, yeah. So they just walked off the street during a pandemic. No one tested their ass, right? And they just went and said, hey, I want to fight. I want in on this. Come on now.
Shane named the big guy.
He named the main guys, but when the challengers didn't name him. When Dolph Ziggler was kicking some guy's ass on the mat, he didn't name that guy.
No, absolutely, because part of they're probably developmental talent that they're going to need to put over at a different time, so you don't want you to know about them right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And let me just make a quick comment and say, congratulations, Adam. You had this wild theory. Oh yes, Dolph Ziggler will still be a main event star after he loses to Drew McIntyre.
There you go.
Look where
Yeah,
he's
I
at.
didn't see this part coming. Yeah, I figured they were
Main
going to keep
event
him
of
alive.
Raw.
See, that just shows right there. Just the fact that he was doing this, he should get the trophy of just being the company man. He will do anything. He'll jump in any role. They're like, hey, we got this weird underground. It looks kind of silly. You want in on it? Do I win my match? Yo, you definitely are winning this one. Oh, then I'm in. You're gonna make me look strong. Yeah, you're gonna make me look strong, and Shane is gonna do commentary on that shit. Are you hyped? Yeah, I'm hyped. There you go. It's gonna help me in other storylines? No, not at all. All right, cool, whatever. TV time is TV time. All right, let's do this. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for downloading it on iTunes and on Spotify, or checking it out on YouTube and everywhere else. And we will see you for the next pay-per-view. I think that is SummerSlam, right? Or the NXT one. Is that NXT one?
Well, we have one match for SummerSlam, so yeah.
What was that, Dana?
I said we have one match announced for SummerSlam.
That's it, one match. But I mean, the next pay-per-view is TakeOver.
Yep.
That's the TakeOver. Okay. All right. So then we'll be back for TakeOver. All right. Thanks, everybody. Peace.